right, hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mando, and I got a special guest today, a friend from high school.
Hi, I'm Leslie.
uh, I brought Leslie on today to talk about. Basically, she's a YouTuber, and she does a lot of she does a
You're
lot
a
of
cat.
she does a lot of well, she has a child, okay, and she is a single parent that has had to deal with the child, on her own. Sorry, Jeff's like messing with some the little clacking little clacking balls. But yeah, I wanted to have her on just so she can kind of talk to me. Like, she had posted a video, going into detail on her experience being a single parent, just basically how she became a single parent, and I like that, and I would like to have her on here just so I can get everybody to see, there's a different side to being a single parent. It's not just everybody just assumes the worst about single parents, guy or girls, but it's a totally different situation if you just listen to the. So yeah, I want her to like just give us a little quick summary of what your story is, and then if you would want, I'm gonna try and link her channel in the description. I suck at linking stuff. I'll just maybe put her YouTube name, and then y'all can go like just YouTube it. But
He better link my channel. Let's kidding. Yeah, but if y'all would like a more detailed version of my story, just go to my channel. I'm just gonna like brief summarize it here. But basically, I met my ex at work. We just kind of like hit it off and stuff. Um, and he was like my first, I guess, real boyfriend, and my first, lost my virginity to him and everything. And I guess just because of the
your
fact that,
first true love, would you would consider your first true love?
yeah, basically. So I guess also just like losing like your virginity to someone is like really special. Like I don't know if it's like the same for guys, but like it's
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, so you have like this huge like attachment to them.
Well, at least to me it was, like it wasn't like a big deal, but like at the moment, but it was something that I did,
Yeah.
like I'm like, okay, it was good.
Yeah. So then I was just so attached to him that I didn't really want to let go of that. So then when a bunch of things happened to him that he had to like end the relationship, because he had a kid with somebody else. Like I knew he had a kid when I got in the relationship with him. I just didn't find it that much of a deal breaker that he had a kid already, because
Hmm.
I felt like, how am I gonna judge somebody for having a kid when that was their past?
Yeah.
So then when he ended up the relationship with me to get back with his ex, like the one that he had the child with, it was difficult for me, like because I had a lot of feelings for him, of course, and he wanted to continue to have a relationship with me, but in secret. And I was just so young and dumb.
She was in love, basically.
Yeah.
She thought there was something there, and she wanted to believe there was something there.
Yeah. And I just believed it. Like, I just believed everything. I believe,
Hmm.
that he loved me, that he didn't want to be with her, that he was only with her because of his son, and, you know.
Sorry guys, Jeff's like going off on the couch over here.
um, but yeah, so I continued that secret relationship for like 2 years,
Hmm.
almost 3 years, but I got pregnant, and then I just saw like his true colors of how he really is, how he treated me when I was pregnant. I'm probably gonna cry because I'm a very emotional
It's alright. It's
person.
alright.
But yeah, I went through like so much being pregnant and living with him
Hmm.
that it just hurt so much. But I felt like I feel like I had to get pregnant in order for me to like open my eyes and realize that he wasn't the one for me.
Hmm.
You know, just like being pregnant, because not only did I have to like not think about myself anymore, I had to think of a child. So I didn't want that for my daughter. As being pregnant and having him being like so not abusive, like physically hitting me, but like
Just the
emotionally,
things,
like
yeah,
physically,
the things
like
some guys can say are just like on
yeah,
another level. They could be worse. Mental health is a big thing, and that's one of the reasons I kind of brought you on here, just to get to see what it's like to have a child.
Yeah.
Like if people want more on your backstory, like your channel, I'm not gonna take your story and post it on my channel.
Yeah.
I just want to know more about what it's like, the struggles, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of single parents that are like possibly gonna be single parents now, due to situations that just weren't called for. And yeah, the first question I have here is, what do I got? What was one of the hardest parts when you first found out like that you were gonna be a single parent?
I guess just the fact of like that I was gonna be alone through it, because at that point I knew he wasn't gonna be involved.
Yeah. Did you have any support at the time, like when you first?
No, because when I moved out of my mom's house before I got pregnant, but she kicked me out, and then when I told her I was pregnant, she didn't want me back at the house, of course. So I was stuck living there with him until I could find my own place. So I had nobody.
Yeah. So you were like.
I'm all like, bullshit.
Yeah, I remember this on your video, but you were saying that you were living with his family.
Yeah.
And like you basically were nothing, like y'all were nothing, but you were living with his family at that point. Like it was that bad.
Mhm.
And that was crazy to me, like that's something that I would never, like, I could never see anyone doing, but the fact that someone actually goes through that, it could be a common thing.
Yeah, like his family, they were really supportive of me, just because his mom went through the same thing that I went through. So she, felt what I was going through, so that's why. Yeah, because my makeup's smearing, but yeah, so she really helped me out, but it was up to the point where, thank you, where she didn't want me to move out, but they were just looking at it as because when he had his first child, she would always use like the child as an excuse, like if she didn't get her way, like she would tell his mom like, oh, then you can't see your grandson. So she kind of like, put a barrier between her and her grandson. So she wanted that, that relationship with the grandchild. So that's why she wanted me there. But I couldn't live there having all these feelings for him.
Your situation was just something that I would like, when I heard it, I was like, what? Like, this is crazy, Like, this is legit crazy. Like, not in a bad way, but like, I felt bad for you, because you went through all this and you didn't, you didn't say anything. No, like, I would see you in school and you seem pretty happy, in class, we would always joke around, all of us.
Yeah.
I'm one that I like to talk to everybody, and Leslie sat like behind, I don't know who was it, Cameron or Frank? You sat behind Frank, I think.
No, it wasn't Frank. I forgot his name, but
Adrian.
Yeah, it was behind Adrian.
Okay, yeah, Adrian. Adrian was supposed to be on the podcast, but the one that didn't record, we recorded one for 3 hours and it didn't work out. But he was supposed to be on it. Maybe we'll get him back on eventually. He's busy. He's also a parent. That's another story.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you want to go on to the next question, or did you have more to?
We can go to the next question.
Okay. I forgot. I don't really know. I lost myself for a little bit. What's your favorite part about being a single parent? Like, if you had to choose something, that.
Of course, my daughter, just like a child, like in general, when you have one, like they can drive you crazy. But your life is just dedicated to them, and just seeing them smile, it makes everything better. Definitely.
What would you say was the hardest part, like, in the whole situation, like from beginning to now? Like, what's the hardest thing that you had to go through? Would it be the relationship in general, like just having to deal with all the stuff that they put you through, or is there more, like, just being a single parent? Is it difficult on your own?
Yeah, it's just difficult too. Like, especially if you don't have any help, because I especially like in high school, like a lot of girls got pregnant in high school, and they would get a lot of help from their families, which is cool, and that would help them out. But I didn't have that. So I didn't have that help, which was really difficult. Actually, when I finally moved out, I actually moved in with my cousin, but she lives like 30 minutes away from like San Antonio. She lives like in Lido, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then I moved in with her because I wanted to really get out of there.
Uh-huh.
But it was crowded. It was her, her husband, and 3 kids, and they had a dog. And then it was me. So then I was almost like I was getting bigger. You know, the weeks
Yeah.
were getting by, and I was just like, I need to find another place because I was sleep like in the room I was sharing with her daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where am I gonna
That's
put my
awesome.
daughter?
That's awesome that they would do that. You know, that's good that there's people that will help you. You know.
Yeah.
But did she understood your situation? You know, you told her everything.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, and that's the reason she helped. Which is good that you had someone at least. You know, to look back on and see that there was someone there.
Yeah, definitely.
So what would you say the hardest part was?
It was just I think it was getting over the relationship because it took me a long time. I think it took me up until like almost having my daughter, like to finally get over it.
How long has it been? How old is your daughter? Or
she's gonna be 2 next month.
2?
Yeah.
Already.
So, yeah, time flies. But yeah, it took a long time for me to get over it, but it was just also like learning how to be a parent. You know, it's difficult. Like you're taking care of a little being. Like you don't know.
Definitely, and then or did you come from a married couple, from a married family, or was your parents divorced? Or?
They were married and then they got divorced when I was like 13, I think, or 12.
Do you think like they did a good job raising you, like you?
Yeah, I feel like my childhood was good up until like they got divorced, and then everything was like crumbling.
Divorces, I haven't experienced one, but it seems like something. We can go into detail on that on another podcast or something.
Yeah.
But so the hardest part was just finding, like, just starting it, or
yeah, just how to be a parent alone, like being a single parent basically, and just learning everything on your own is difficult. Very.
Well, has it gotten a lot easier since then, or?
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better because she's like older. Now what I have to deal with is the tantrums, which is horrible. Yeah. We went to HEB and I was grabbing her arm because she didn't want to sit in the cart anymore, so she was walking, and I was sitting here like, we gotta go to the next aisle. So I was just like pulling on her arm a little bit, and she just throws herself on the floor crying and rolls over, and everybody's watching. I'm like, okay, I'll meet you in the next aisle.
You just left her there?
I didn't leave her there, but I was like, come on, let's go. I picked her up.
Yeah. What would you think, like, makes you, like, what's the happiest thing that your daughter does for you?
I think just like how, like, learning new stuff.
Learning in general?
Yeah, like learning new stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing, like when people put it on the fridge, like their drawings.
Yeah, like she's still baby talk. She doesn't completely talk, but she knows, like, if I tell her to do something, she knows, like, she's smart enough to know. And I told her to, like, to pick, because she has a habit of getting her, like, dirty laundry basket that I have for her, and she just throws it everywhere. And then I tell her, pick it up, and she'll do it, like, and she's like, okay, because, like, every time she puts it away, like, I clap, and I'm like, yay, like, she gets excited, because she thinks it's a game. But last night, actually, I told her to pick it up, she told me no. I'm like, where did you learn this word? I was just laughing. I'm like, okay, I guess.
So would you say there's a lot of goods to come with a child?
Yeah, there is. It's just also like if they get sick, and like sometimes finding like a babysitter, like for work and stuff. That's when it gets difficult. When they get sick, you have to call off work, or if you can't find a babysitter, so you can't go in that day, you gotta call in. So it's difficult. That's the difficult part.
I appreciate you calling in, like, getting her a babysitter to come on the podcast.
Yeah, well, she's in daycare. I pay them, even though, like, even when I'm off and I'm with her, you still have to pay for that day they didn't go. So, yeah.
Wow. Do they teach them anything in daycare?
Yeah, it's like a school. They teach them, like, numbers, colors. They play with them, feed them. So, yeah.
So that's where she learned no. That's where she learned the word no.
Yeah, basically.
Do you feel happy in your current situation? Like, everything that's been like where you're at right now to where you started? You feel like it's changed a lot?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I have grown so much as a person.
Yeah.
Even though like when all that did happen, I feel like I was a child, I was a
Mhm.
teenager. You know, we're
I still believe
growing.
we're still children, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
We're still young. I just turned 22. How old are you? Like 21?
21.
21?
Yeah.
We're still young, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I've been like, I kind of want to have a child. That's
Mhm.
another reason like I brought you on just to like kind of see like what it's really like to have a actual child, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I know it can be stressful. Is it hard? Like really hard to just because
Sorry,
you have to make time, right? Like everything's basically about the child now at that point.
Yes. Yeah.
So what's like one of the biggest things that you've lost?
Sleep.
Sleep. Sleep. Okay.
No. Sleep is definitely one. But I think just like you kind of lose your social life a little bit.
Hmm.
Especially like when you have a child, you have to like get out of like leave work for a little bit
Hmm.
to take care of the child. So if you're not working because you have a brand new baby to take care of, like you have no social life. You
Yeah.
can't really talk to friends.
Hmm.
I lost a lot of friends when I was pregnant. I don't know if you've seen like a meme in Facebook but it says like when you want to know if you have true friends, get pregnant because it's so true. Like you
Damn.
lose so many friends.
Yeah. I think it's just the fact that like you're having a child. I guess people understand, or maybe some people do understand. Maybe they just judge instantly.
Yeah.
But I know for me, like if we were closer as friends and you had a child, like I have a best friend that she has a child as well, and
Mhm.
she's a single mom, and she's been like there's been times where that can't hang out, but I understand, her
Yeah.
situation is something that I've never gone through, but I try and put myself in her situations and just see that she's busy, and I
Mhm.
can see that, but every now and then I'll still message her to be like, oh, let's go out. If she can, if not, then it's all right.
Yeah.
But it's just I think it's more on the friend side too. It's not it's not a one way thing. Like one friend can't be the only one. Like you can't be the one always asking to go out.
Mhm.
And then if they never ask you, then what's the point?
Yeah.
Like well, what's the real like? Are you the only one trying in like the friendships? Or,
Mhm.
yeah. So, but sometimes having a kid it keeps me away from asking her to do things just for the fact that she has a kid. She could have her kid for the week. She just recently went on to like uh,
Custody
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
custody stuff. It's like a whole thing. But I don't want to talk about it because that's her thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, like it's just been a mess for her, and she's been struggling because she really loves her daughter, and
Yeah.
just like she's she's been trying to just keep her to herself
Mhm.
because he wasn't a good father, like in her eyes.
Yeah.
So she's been wanting just to keep the child for herself, but she's giving it a chance, and that's all we can like.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I'm so glad I don't really have to deal with it because I
Mhm.
have a lot of friends that have dealt with like custody battles
Yeah.
and how it gets ugly. Like it really
Yeah,
does.
it is.
Um, and just not having like my daughter's biological father not involved, I don't have to like really deal with it or like
Yeah.
like ask their opinion on how to raise a child
Mhm.
because I'm like raising her as how I believe is right.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's one thing that
Hmm.
I like that I don't have to like go and like talk to him
Hmm.
about it.
Is there anything that you would want your child to go into, or you just, if you want her to play an instrument, or
I want her to be like in a lot of stuff,
yeah?
but that also falls into like it's difficult when being a single parent
Hmm.
because
It's just another thing you have to take them to.
yeah, because besides getting out of work, because I was actually thinking of putting her into like dancing classes.
Uh-huh.
So I would have to get out of work. I would have to drop her
Oh,
to
man.
dancing classes, be there for like an hour and a half, and then have
Mhm.
to go home, cook dinner, clean, and like do these things. And it's like,
And then still find time to take her.
yeah, and it's time consuming if you want to like
Yeah.
do
Just-
things like that. Because I remember when I was growing up, my mom and my dad were together, but my dad would always like leave for work,
Mhm.
so it was kind of like my mom was kind
Yeah,
of
your
like
mom
a
would raise
single
you, and she
parent.
would. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was difficult for her to like take me to like basketball, like what is it like?
The little games.
Yeah, like not the games, but like the practices, the
Uh-huh.
basketball practices, and like all these sports stuff. Like she could never take me, so I had to get out of sports. So that's why I don't want to do to my daughter. Like take her, and then I
Mhm.
can't take her, so then I take her out. But I would like for her to be like in different stuff and just find whatever it is that she
Mhm.
likes to do.
Eventually,
Yeah.
she's barely 2.
Yeah.
She's gonna be 2, or she's gonna be
She's
3.
gonna be 2 on July 18th, which is funny story actually. So how my ex had a kid
Mhm.
with like somebody else. He had a son. His birthday's July 18th.
Oh, good. Wow.
So she shares a birthday with her half brother.
Oh, wait, her little brother is the same. Is the
Her
same
half
birthday?
brother, yeah.
Oh man. Wait, is he older or he's older? Right?
He's older. He's like I think 6 or 7 now. I don't
Dang.
know. Yeah, because he had his son when he was like 16, I believe.
How old were you when you had your child?
It was 19.
You were 19.
Mhm.
Oh wow. Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, I got pregnant at 18,
Mm.
but like three
It was
months
like close
later.
to graduation, right?
No.
No, after graduation.
Mhm.
But it was the same year, 2016 or
No.
2017.
Oh wait. Yeah, it was the same year as
Right?
graduation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember. I think you were talking about how you were pregnant, but you seem pretty happy. That's why I didn't like. When people put on this different face and just because they don't want to tell anybody, and it sucks
Yeah.
that you're struggling through this and no one knows.
Mhm.
And we're not doing this for like for attention. This is for people that are going through this, that are gonna actually be a single parent.
Mhm.
I want some knowledge. Myself, just because you never know, like
Yeah,
you
in the
never know what's in the
future.
future.
Mhm.
I might be a single parent one day. But I don't want that, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But it's a
Yeah.
possibility. With the people that are out in this world nowadays, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Relationships are a different story. I haven't even tried to be in a relationship since like since I broke up with my ex, like back in like 2016 as well. Once we
Wow.
graduated,
Mhm.
yeah, I've been doing my own thing. Just trying to progress in life.
Yeah.
I want to set things up before I have a kid. Hopefully everybody's goal. Even if you don't learn anything from this, is at least that not to have a kid yet as you're young. Would you suggest having a kid as
Mm,
as a teenager or
no,
with the no?
definitely not. Don't do
Okay, so
it.
let's say what if both parents were there at least? No.
Um, no, I
No.
mean, I have seen a lot of relationships,
Hmm.
actually make it even though they had a kid really
Yeah.
young. But honestly, that's like really rare
Uh-huh.
occasions. The majority, they all separate and they all,
Yeah.
end up becoming
Mhm.
single parents.
I think the thing is like nowadays, or I'm pretty sure this has always been a thing. It's just what I've seen from my like perspective, is people get into relationships, and they end up dropping everything else except for that one person, and they make all their time just for that one person, and then someone gets pregnant, that person doesn't want to be there, or they're
Yeah.
just like they're scared because they're teenagers,
Mhm.
and they just end up leaving, and then you leave someone with the child.
Yeah.
And that's just not right.
Yeah.
And people need to realize, love as a kid, it can be real,
Mhm.
but it cannot. You're also very young, you know. Don't think of it as their priority number one, because that's what I was doing. I always assumed like, oh, that's priority number one. I wasn't working on anything, but just trying to work on my relationship,
Yeah.
trying to better us as a thing, and it wasn't good for anybody.
Yeah, it takes a lot, a toll on a
Hmm.
person, and when the relationship ends, when you put your 100% on that one
Yeah.
person, and
Yeah,
it's a
and
wreck.
then you don't get the same results from them.
Yeah,
Like you might not get all, like, we all have different minds, and we might be putting in 100% over here. They might not even put any effort in.
yeah,
And we just say that because the way we were raised. Like, I was raised to respect everybody,
mhm,
and that's usually how I go. Like, I respect everybody. If they're older than me, I respect them. If they're younger than me, like, I try and respect them as well. But I would like to like guide people in the right way, in the right direction. And if this helps someone, make the right decision, whether it be like you have a single child, if you're a single parent and you're gonna have a child, I brought her on to show you that it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it gets better. It gets
And
easier as they grow up.
And how's the money situation for you? Like, if you don't mind talking about it, like, if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's so difficult. I'm so
do you
broke.
have to like? Is it more about buying everything for your daughter, and then if there's some left over for you, or?
Yeah, yeah. I tried. It's so crazy how before having a child, I would always spend the money on me, like buying makeup and buying all this stuff I want, and now it's like no, I haven't bought any makeup for myself in forever.
Because I currently went through a situation that I'll probably talk about later on like a future episode or maybe my channel. I have a channel, but it's like very small and it's more for eye opening. This podcast is more for people. Well, eye opening, but with friends, But yeah, like. Just that situation I went through opened my eyes to see that not everything's about money.
Yeah.
And like I haven't like purchased anything for like just for what is it, impulse buy. I've been purchasing only things that'll further my thing, like this laptop, everything for the podcast. I've been doing it like just to further the podcast.
Yeah, that's good. At least you're using your money wisely. And
I'm trying.
Just spending.
I'm trying. It's difficult from like because I'm still a single guy, and I make like a good amount for myself, and just keeping it is hard. Like I would just blow it like on whatever. I would just go spend it on anything, and like right now I'm still living with my parents, but I'm trying to take advantage of that now, trying to start saving up for a house, like just for the setups, buy better mic, buy better camera, everything.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of that, because then...
When you have a kid, it's...
daycare, diapers, wipes, clothes, rent, water, light bill, gas bill, car insurance.
The only things I pay right now is car insurance, internet.
Which is not bad at all.
It's not. And, I mean, it's not bad, and I don't struggle with it. And I'm happy right now, Yeah. I'm in a good position. I don't need to go on my own. A lot of people think that once you graduate, you need to get out of the house. You need to go like. But for me, I'm starting to realize like we don't need that,
Yeah.
If you're okay where you're at, and I'm totally fine living with my parents, Why am I gonna go throw myself under a bus just like into a big ass debt hole, just to try and be on my own? Like I could be on my own when I'm ready. I'm not ready right now, and.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you had to jump into your situation.
Yeah, I had to.
There was no going back for you.
Yeah. But hopefully situations will get better, but that's what it is now, but it's all good. I'll stay broke till... Honestly, once she goes to school, I'll be a lot better. I won't have to pay for daycare. It's like a whole car payment. Oh, it's...
The daycare? Oh,
yes, it's like $600 a month. Yes, it's like $150. I pay $150 every Friday.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
How many? She goes every day, or how many days a week is it?
It's Monday through Friday. I'm normally off on Wednesdays, so she won't go on Wednesdays.
But they still charge you for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I still get charged.
I would say you should take her and then take advantage of the free time.
That's what everybody tells me.
Like I don't know your situation, like I'm trying to learn it, but I would seem like that would be something that you can use for your time.
Yeah, it's just that I feel bad because like I'm at work all the time.
Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, you're right.
And I don't spend time with her,
Yeah.
so that's why I still try to keep her with me on my day off.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you're right, and that's good. You want to grow your bond with your baby.
Yeah.
The worst thing you'd want is to neglect her and just keep her away from you. Because there's been a lot of people that I know, they like their parents. You also don't want to baby your child.
Yeah,
I would assume because babying a child is never a good thing.
No.
I've seen like some people that they turn out to be the worst people because they were babied. Sorry, my phone just went off.
I thought it was your cat.
No, I need to turn it off.
Yeah, but like my mom's relationship, like me and my mom's relationship has gotten a little bit better. So like she helps sometimes watch my daughter, and it's difficult when I try to discipline her and she
Mhm.
like babies her, and I'm like, don't do that. She's not gonna learn.
I mean, to me, like my grandma used to baby me. You know? My parents didn't. Like they raised me to be respectful. My
Mhm.
grandma would baby me though. That's probably one of the reasons why I'm a little chunky. Because I was the only one that got chunky too. Like out of all my cousins, I would eat whatever she would make me. She would make a lot of food.
And you would just eat it.
But I respected my grandma. I still respect my grandma a lot.
Mhm.
The things she did for us.
Yeah.
Um, she took care of basically all of us. My mom would, all my while my aunts and my parents would work. We would always get dropped off at her house, and my grandma was the one that was always like the housewife. So she would take care of all of us. Uh,
Mm.
uh, it was just I'm very respectful for my grandma.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the only thing I find difficult when I try to discipline her. My mom gets involved.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But it's also hard. I can assume it's hard to discipline your own child.
yeah, I feel bad like when I discipline her like
Uh-huh.
really bad, and I'm like, oh, like I felt like, oh, okay, I went too far. But sometimes it's just so difficult because how are you gonna get the point across?
Uh-huh.
And
Without like. Mhm.
yeah, it's just the toddler age in general
Mhm.
is difficult.
Do you have any advice you would give?
And like discipline,
Like no,
or
just in general, like what I don't know, just any advice.
um, well, like advice in.
So how is changing a diaper actually? I've never changed a diaper and it just seems like the worst thing to do. Is it as bad as people assume?
It depends. It
Or... Oh, I saw this
depends.
video where like a baby had like bad diarrhea and it was just like bubbling. It was nasty.
Oh, I think I saw
You seen that
it
one?
too.
It's so gross.
Yeah, when my daughter was a newborn, I posted it on Facebook. I think still have the picture.
Oh.
I was holding her like on my chest right here,
Uh-huh.
like just like rocking her, and then I smelled poop, and I'm like, where? And I pick her up, and I don't see anything. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so then I just like lay her down, and then I see my shirt, and it's all over
Oh.
my shirt, and it was all over like her front
Mhm.
side. I was like, oh no. That was immediate shower. I could
Oh,
not.
I don't know how. See, like that alone, like for me, I would just be like, what the hell?
Yeah, like I still have that shirt. It's saved.
Oh.
It doesn't have the stains, but I saved it.
Did you
Had
take
to
a
wash
picture?
it
You took
right
a
away.
picture?
Yeah, I took a picture of me on like wearing the shirt, and I'm like, "This is mom life." And then
How long were you like? How long ago was that?
that was when she was like a newborn. It was a while back.
So what's the hardest stage so far that you've been through? Like,
Mm, I want to say the hardest stage is just difficult because I feel like each stage you go through, like you
so
feel
let's
like
go
it's
through.
that one.
Let's go through like newborn baby. You just got home from the hospital.
Like
How was it?
you get no sleep.
No sleep.
No
Just from the
sleep.
beginning, like.
Yeah, just straight.
Is-
But my situation, I feel like is just different compared to if you're like in a relationship with somebody, because you can like alternate. You
Yeah.
you can take turns sleeping, and
Yeah.
watch the child. But not me. I had to be up, and then I had a C-section, so I was in a lot of pain. So I couldn't do a lot of things, which was so difficult.
So would you say a C-section was better than the actual just normal birth, or?
I would have preferred to have a natural birth
Uh-huh.
compared to have had a C-section, because I didn't have a good birth experience at the hospital. It was really bad. But at the end, as long as my daughter
Yeah.
came
she
out
came
okay
mhm.
and I was okay, but basically, I want to do like a whole story on my channel because it's a crazy story. But basically, I was lied to saying that I have to have an emergency C-section when it was a lie. Because when a doctor performs a C-section on you, they get paid more.
For real?
Uh-huh.
See, I didn't even know that. I didn't
Yeah,
even-
so I was lied to saying I have to have an emergency section when it wasn't true.
And was it
So-
like, what were you time? Was it time for you to have your baby? Or?
Yeah, I was already having contractions. My water actually broke, and like when they were like checking to see how much I was
When they say
dilated.
your water like breaks, what do they mean by that? Like,
Like
is
it
it
just
like
breaks.
just is it actually like water comes out and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, like
Like you don't even feel it. Like
Yeah.
it's just like out of nowhere. It just
That's weird.
happens.
Wait, so and they didn't give you the option of either C-section
They
or because he was saying it was an emergency that they
Yeah,
had
so
to?
they were like giving me the chance to, but they were just saying that it was an emergency, so I have to like have it. So they like rushed me into like the OR and did the C-section. But yeah, it was.
And they how do they do it? They like slice your underneath your stomach or
Yeah.
was it painful or do they
Yeah.
put you under like a
Well, yeah, they give you the epidural.
Yeah.
But I wanted like a natural birth. I didn't want
Yeah.
any drugs.
Uh-huh.
I was, I have like my birth vlog in my channel, but I lasted. I think it was
Well,
like.
you posted like the video of you having the baby.
Well, it didn't show like like me getting cut and like baby coming out because you can't like they won't allow
I was
you
like,
to
what?
do that.
I
No.
was like, you posted that. I was like, I don't think I would watch that either. That's a little dangerous. Like,
No, I just recorded me going to the contractions, like going to the hospital.
that's cool. That's good that you did that. You know, because if someone like is interested in seeing how does it feel, like just going through a contraction, like.
It-
Like I've always assumed. Have you ever gotten a leg cramp? Like when you let's say you're in the pool or something and you cramp your leg. Is that how it feels? But in your stomach or?
Yeah, as they progress, like they get like that, like your stomach gets hard. But it's just a feeling that you just can't like
There's nothing
explain. Yeah, you can't really compare it, and it hurts so much more when the baby moves and you're having a contraction. Oh, it like it's just horrible. But yeah, like it was the video that I had like it just um it doesn't show any graphic stuff. I think it would have been blocked by YouTube if it would have had graphic stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did just record like everything that like I went through, but I lasted I think like 16 to like 17 hours without any like medication.
In the hospital?
I lasted a whole day
Wait,
at
so
the hospital.
you felt that pain the whole
16 to
was it
17 hours.
constant every second you felt something or was it
No,
in
like
and out?
it's kind of like well, I don't know if you heard, but I think they say once it's like contractions every like 5 minutes, it's like active labor, or every 3 minutes, something like that. But it just they last like you get it like maybe they last like a good minute, and then you got like 3 minutes to rest, and then you get another one.
Wow.
So it just depends
So you
how
get little
like
breaks.
yeah,
Little
but
breaks in
it just
between.
kind of depends. If you get the epidural right away, then you don't feel anything. But I lasted
why,
like
why did you decide not to get the epidural? Like
just because it comes like if you do your research on it, it comes with a lot of like
risks?
yeah, like it's like dangerous if they misput it, you can get paralyzed. But then also like that's like really rare because a lot of like doctors are really
What
good
what
at
does
it.
an epidural do? Like I know what it is, but maybe some people out there, someone doesn't know.
Yeah, it just numbs you from like the waist down, basically.
Where do they insert it? Like into your back or?
Yeah, they they put like this big old needle in your back, and then it's just a liquid that just goes into
And
your
you,
back.
and you didn't try that?
I didn't want to, but I had to have it because of the
It was getting bad?
C-section. But I didn't want to. I wanted a whole natural birth. I wanted to feel everything. I wanted to feel the pain. Oh, your
Jeff's
cat wants a
joining us.
donut.
Yeah, he's joining the podcast.
But yeah, I wanted to feel everything,
Uh-huh.
just because I really wanted a natural birth. I don't know. Like, and then also just because having the C-section, I felt less of a mom because I feel like, a woman's body is supposed to have, a baby naturally, and I wasn't allowed to. So I had a hard time with it, like processing it in the hospital.
And was
But yeah.
it just annoying having to deal with the C-section? Like when you got home with the C-section, or?
Yeah, because it's really painful. Like, you can't even walk.
For real?
Yeah, like it's tough. Like, from like.
So how long did the pain from the C-section last?
Like.
You don't even want to think about it. So,
No.
Was it bad? Like it was.
I think I think my situation was just bad too because I wasn't, when you have a C-section, you can't pick up heavy things, you can't clean, you can't do basically anything
Yeah.
for like 2 months, and then you
Mm.
have to like go for a checkup, and then they have to like give you the approval that that you're okay to do like start doing natural stuff. Like you can't even drive when you have a
What?
C-section. Yeah,
What?
you can't drive.
And
You're like
natural
basically like on bed rest.
and natural birth you can drive like right after.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I don't think so. I think you gotta wait, but
You just let your baby get into the car and take off.
But I'm pretty. You could do worse stuff.
Well, how long did they keep you in the hospital after you had your baby?
Not even that long. Like
No?
I'm telling you, my whole hospital experience was horrible. Like not because I work at a hospital.
Mhm.
Not gonna say what hospital, but I work at a hospital.
Yeah.
And when you have a C-section, you have to be there, depending, your situation. But you have to be there up until like you go number 2, up until like you release some bowel movements.
Oh, really?
Because when you have a C-section, it's really difficult. Very
Oh.
difficult. Like I thought I was going
'cause-
through birth.
Because I feel like you can't. Yeah, because it's cut. Like you can't push, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Do they give you Pepto Bismol? What do they like? Do they make you get the runs or?
they give you a lot of pain medicine because
Uh-huh.
it was a major surgery. A C-section doesn't get healed actually after a year.
No. It takes a year.
It takes a year. And like from the outside,
And I'm pretty sure
it's
if you don't
healed.
even take care of that, it takes longer.
Yeah, like from
You
the
get infected.
outside, it gets it's sealed up, but
Uh-huh.
from the inside, it takes a whole year to get fully recovered,
Oh, yeah.
basically. But yeah, I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to because I was a single parent. I had to do things.
Yeah, you have to do a lot more.
So my left side of my C-section actually got reopened
Oh man.
because
And did it bleed or what?
no, it was because you have to stitch it, so it was like the stitches were coming undone. But that was like up until like when I have to have the checkup. But at the hospital, actually, because I got off topic, I forgot. But when you have to be, basically the hospital, you have to be there within like 3 to 4 or 5 days, depending. I was only there for 2 days.
What?
Which is that is not how it's supposed to go. You're only there for 2 days if you have a natural birth,
Uh-huh.
but not when you have a C-section.
Wow.
And they have to, when you're eating, you have to start off on clear liquids after you have a C-section because, you just got cut in half. So you have to, like, introduce your stomach in through, like, liquids, and you move into full liquids and then to regular food, right?
Because your body has to basically re-heal that whole section. Right?
Yeah.
And how wide did they cut? Like, or is it just like a little, like, if you would have to estimate?
Like,
Maybe like 6 inches, 7 inches?
like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, I was only there for like 2 days, and I was only introduced to like clear liquids. They didn't even advance me to like regular food. I left the hospital with clear liquids. So they never introduced me to regular food. They never gave me the okay to eat regular food. I just ate because I was hungry.
Wow.
Like I was like in labor for 24 hours, and then I was only there at the hospital for like another day, and that's it.
Did you have insurance?
Yeah, I had
So
like
the
the
birth was
Medicaid.
covered?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure birth can be expensive. It sounds all the things that they did.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a sister from church.
Yeah.
She is actually from Jersey. She moved over here when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And her insurance she had in Jersey did not cover her birth here.
Oh,
So she's like in debt.
How much was it? Like 20,000, 12,000 at least?
Like, she says she owes like.
Well, we don't have to say like an
Yeah.
exact amount. You know?
But around.
Yeah, let's give an estimate. Like
Like around 20,000.
for a child?
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have to raise that child?
Yeah.
Wow.
And now she's actually pregnant again.
Oh, no. Well, she has insurance this time. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
She,
she has
I'm pretty sure she
insurance.
learned. She should have just gone back to New Jersey and had the baby there.
Yeah, basically. But she thought it would have been covered, which, I mean, I would have thought it would have been covered too because it's
Yeah.
insured.
And do they still have the same insurance here as over there, or was it different companies? Or
It was different companies.
that's probably why. Like,
Yeah.
if that company is not here, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna have it's not gonna cover.
Yeah, but it's like, what if you're visiting and you just
Yeah.
happen to give birth here?
That sucks. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
that's something. That's another problem you have to deal with if you didn't have insurance.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's one good thing, that you avoided having to pay the whole birth.
Yeah, cause
And I've always assumed like every child you have to pay for it. But I guess if there's Medicaid like and stuff, you have Medicaid, it'll cover it. That's good. That was one of the reasons I was like, nah, I shouldn't have a kid.
well, actually, if you have a water birth, it's a lot cheaper.
For real?
It's like 1,000.
Water birth's like more natural too, right?
Yeah.
Because you get in the. I've seen people they do it in the pool or in the tub, but they do it at home.
Yeah,
right?
It's a home
and
birth.
You need to get a what is it like
a doula or a what is it called? There's
witch
another
doctor
one.
or something. I forgot. I know you're. I've like kind of heard of it, but
a midwife. It's either midwife.
Witch doctor, midwife.
Yeah, it's either a doula or a midwife. Which, if I ever get the chance of having another child, I would like to have a water birth.
It would the C-section wouldn't affect another birth?
No. Actually, you're allowed to have up to like 3 C-sections. If you have more than 3 C-sections, then you have to keep having them. But if you only had like 1 C-section, then you can still have a natural birth.
I've always wondered if they can maybe put like a zipper. Just unzip a baby.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, there you go.
Because you're already open, you know. So
yeah, I mean, it's been a couple times. They can put like one of those resealable seals or something.
That wouldn't be sanitary.
I mean, if you wanted to have a lot of kids, I could see that being a thing.
Yeah.
The types of things that they're coming out with nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, Ziploc bag, like the Ziploc ones. You know which ones?
Yes.
The seal ones? Yeah, those, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I could just see that being terribly wrong.
Just something going wrong. Yeah, maybe it would be wrong because it'd have to be like really strong just in case you want to actually lift and stuff.
Like all your guts are gonna fall out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the afterbirth of like having a C-section was horrible. Like I don't even want to get graphic, but it was bad. It was a lot of blood.
Really?
A lot. Like not even just like from like my C-section, but just like
in general,
just
like coming out from places.
Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't even have a natural birth. Where is this coming from? Wow. Like it was bad. Like I had like, I think it was like I was just like out of the hospital like 3 or like 4 days, and I went to the restroom and it was like all over the floor. So I had to clean that up.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. And at this point, like, let's say, so you got out of the hospital, and did you have a job that you had to go to? No.
No.
So you were just focused on your baby at the moment. You were
Yeah.
living with your aunt at this point. With your aunt or your cousin?
I had moved out of my cousin's house because it was getting crowded, and I was really thankful like to have lived there with her, which I still visit her and stuff. We're cool. But we actually had went to go visit because I'm from Laredo. That's where I'm from. So we went to go visit. All of my family's from Laredo. So one time we went to go visit, and then my uncle had offered me to stay there at his house because they were making like their house bigger. Like they had just made it into a 2-story.
Yeah.
So like they had an extra bedroom, and they offered me cat.
I'm gonna let him in real quick because if not, he's not gonna see.
So they offered me to move in with them because they had an extra room and they knew that it was crowded in my cousin's house. Yeah. So I had to do a lot of thinking about it because my cousin was helping me a lot, and then I talked to my cousin about it, and it was just like a better option for me to go over there. So I was living with my aunt before I had the baby. So then when
sorry, Jess.
Scared
Just
me.
being annoying. Come here, Jeff. Come here.
Oh,
He's not pushing the mics.
Do you want to like?
You can just throw him down, and then when he comes over here, I'll take him over. Come here, Jeff. Come here.
But yeah, I was living with my aunt actually when I had my daughter. So I was over there with her. I was living in Laredo for a bit.
Yeah.
Up until like my daughter turned like 8 months, and I moved back over here.
And you didn't want to stay over there, or what was the reason for you coming back over here?
The reason why, just cause I don't want to put my family on blast. I'm just kidding.
Okay, no, you don't have to. No, you don't have to.
They won't watch this.
Was it just family problems that started happening over there?
Yeah, just cause like my family, they're very judgmental, and they would judge me for every single little thing I would do and how like I would raise my daughter.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't working, like I felt like I was a maid because I would always be cleaning like 24/7 after everybody, which is understandable because I wasn't working, you know, and I was living under somebody's roof. But it's up until like a point where you're like taking advantage. So that's kind of also like the main reason why I left, because it was just getting out of hand, taking care after everybody. So
yeah, they thought like they were just gonna use you to do all their housework basically.
Yeah, basically, and like I was getting money, not not how can I say it? I was getting money, but it wasn't a lot. But it was just enough for like my daughter. But like my dad would like send me money. He would help me out, and then also don't do this. Don't do this at home, kids. But when you know how you can get WIC? You know, WIC helps you with like formula, and they give you like
milk
food and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you tell them that your baby's taking formula, then they only give you formula. But if you telling them that you're breastfeeding, then they give you food instead. So it's either or.
So which one would you recommend?
It just depends. If you're gonna formula feed your child, then go with formula.
No, but which one did you? Well, like what would you recommend? Which is better, or
like to breastfeed or like formula?
Yeah.
Honestly, I just feel like it just depends, like on
the woman. Themselves.
Yeah, because sometimes a lot of people can't breastfeed. Breast milk is obviously better. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just can't produce milk. But then sometimes also like the whole scheduling stuff, it takes a lot of work to breastfeed. Because when I was breastfeeding my daughter, like she would want to eat like every 30 minutes to an hour. So, you know how painful that was?
Breastfeeding is painful?
Yes, it's very painful. Very. Especially when they're learning, when they're getting their teeth. So they're biting a lot.
So formula? Just formula?
Formula up until a certain age. But I can't even talk because I still breastfeed my daughter.
Really?
Yeah, I want to stop, but she's still teething, and that's the only thing that soothes her teething. So once all her teeth come in, I'm like so done. But
maybe there's chew toys. You can get her a chew toy or something.
I've tried. No, like she never even took a pacifier or like took any of like the teething toys. Nothing. No. But I mean, breastfeeding is recommended. I mean, it's good. Because as they grow, the milk, grows with them. So the milk is going to produce the nutrition that they need. So, but it's recommended like to 2 years. So I'm going to stop.
So would you say like just tell them that you breastfeed or that you don't breastfeed so you can get formula?
I would tell them that I wouldn't breastfeed so I could get formula.
so I mean, and it's not bad because I mean, I'm pretty sure, like you were saying, it's tiring. So it's good to have the formula there, because if not, then you're going to have to buy it anyways.
Yeah, definitely. But what I would do is, like, I would just get, like, 1 or 2 of the, like, not bottles, but, like, the cans that they give you. And then I would sell the rest online.
No, that's bad. You just threw yourself under the bus.
I had to make money somehow. But they're expensive. If you were buy them online, they're cheaper.
How much is it for one?
There's like I think 20 to 25.
And how many servings does one have?
It says I think I don't remember. I think it's supposed to be a good amount, but it never is. No, you go through a can like really fast.
Would you say like a week, maybe 2 weeks?
Just it just depends too, like how much the baby's eating.
Yeah. So would you say it's worth getting WIC, like even just for the little simple things?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, WIC helps a lot, especially once like they start.
Especially,
eating?
I would say get WIC if you're a single parent.
Yeah.
Or even if you're.
If you're not, it helps a lot.
Because if you're young, I'm pretty sure we all qualify for WIC if you're young.
Yeah, and especially helps it because once the babies are introduced to like eating solid food or eating baby food, they give you baby food as well.
It goes up as well.
Yeah, so they'll give you baby food.
Diapers? Do they help with diapers?
Not diapers, no. I don't know of any places that help with diapers.
No.
Leave in the comments. I was kidding.
But but even like diapers, it's kind of bad because you can't really stock up on them because they end
Yeah.
up growing out of them pretty fast,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
baby clothes too. What about baby clothes?
Oh yeah, I have like boxes and boxes of clothes
So
of
would you
my
suggest
daughter.
like just getting cheap baby clothes? Because
Yeah, definitely go to like to the thrift store, get hand me downs, like just it's
I've always seen like, and it's just me. I'm not judging anybody, but for me, I don't see the point of getting a baby like Jordans
yeah no
because
me neither.
they grow out of them
Mhm.
within the month.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people want their babies to look nice. But to me, it's something that like if I don't see a baby with Jordan, I'm not gonna be like, oh, your baby don't got Jordans. Don't talk to me. Like
Your baby and fly.
your baby ain't got clout. Like get out of here. No, I can care less. You know, if your baby, if you're happy with your baby's not gonna be the one. Like he's not gonna be like, Mom, I want Jordans. Like
Yeah.
babies don't have a choice, and you should they shouldn't have a choice. You know,
Yeah, definitely.
you don't wanna baby them that far where you buying them expensive stuff.
Yeah, it's just also just how you raise them.
But
Because
you know, I have been in the store and I've looked at them and they're cute. You know, there are some shoes that I'm like, if I have these and they have these, you know, these would be nice.
yeah, I feel like it just depends. Like you can buy them like maybe
Mhm.
for like special occasions, just have them for like memories, but don't
Yeah.
buy them like every time they keep growing up. That you're
Yeah.
just like wasting
Yeah, maybe
money.
like on occasion, or I would get like a pair for me and then a pair for my baby just to match.
Yeah, but yeah, don't go overboard
Yeah.
because then you'll get broke.
Yeah, you don't. A baby doesn't need Jordans.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, it just also depends on how like you're raising them.
Uh-huh.
Like if you raise them with them like wearing name brand stuff, then that's what they're gonna expect
Yeah.
and want all
Yeah,
the time.
and for me, it was mostly thrift store stuff, you know, flea market stuff. I was never we never had the opportunities, you know, to buy expensive clothes,
Yeah.
and my parents worked hard for us, and I'm glad. I would never go back and tell my parents, you know, like why didn't I have this? Because I was happy.
Yeah. Definitely. Like when I was living with my aunt,
Mhm.
she would baby her kids a lot. Like it was bad.
Like she would buy them everything they wanted, and
Yeah, like her child. Well,
Yeah.
she has 3 kids. One, he's like a month or 2 months younger than
Yeah.
me, so he's like my age. So she doesn't really worry about him because he buys his own stuff because he works.
Yeah.
But she had like a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old,
Mhm.
and the 6-year-old would still throw tantrums in the stores if he didn't get what he wanted because she would always buy them
my
stuff.
my things where I didn't throw tantrums. I would just like not talk, you know. I was one of those where like if I didn't get it, I was just like in my own thing.
Yeah.
But I understood, you know. Later on,
Mhm.
I would be like, okay, they don't have the money for it.
Yeah. But man, my little cousins, they're spoiled, very
Yeah.
spoiled. Yeah.
What about hitting your child? Is there any situation where you see yourself maybe, you know?
Oh yeah, I pop my child all the time. I'm just kidding. No.
Let's not talk about that because we're gonna get
No, I know CPS case. I'm just kidding, guys. I do not hit my child.
Okay, I'm just gonna give my opinion on it because I don't have a child. They can't really take anything away from me. But my opinion on it is, I believe like if I had a son and he did something bad, you know, I would say maybe a spanking. You know,
Mhm.
I do believe that spanking. You know, you do learn something.
Yeah, I honestly agree. I wasn't hit as a child,
Yeah.
and I see how it affected me because I was a horrible child. Because I never got the discipline. Like they'll yell at me, yeah, but I never got like the consequence with the action that I did.
Yeah,
if that
and
makes
to me,
sense.
like, it felt better for me to get hit than my parents just to tell me, you know, I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
It just felt better to get hit. I don't know. It does, cause then you go on and you're like, well, why didn't they hit me? Like,
I must have really
I
messed
fucked up,
up.
like-
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's a different game now. Like, you know, I do respect my parents a lot,
Mhm.
and I wish I don't want to. There's no way I want to disappoint them, and it's just when you disappoint them, it's difficult. You know,
Yeah.
it affects me, and I'm just like shit. Like I need to fix this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely.
And I feel like they raised me the right way. I'm happy where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not worried about money. You know, the future is it's there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. Like, I feel like if my daughter were to ever do something like bad, and I feel like it was deserves of a spanking, then yeah.
But I do believe that we have to sit our like you'd have to sit your child down,
Yeah.
talk to them and be
Not
like, look,
even, yeah, not just hitting them, but like
yeah,
telling them
giving them a
why.
reason.
Yeah.
There has to be there's a reason for everything. If they don't understand why you're hitting them, they're just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the hitting's not really gonna do anything.
Yeah, you need to tell them why they're getting hit, and like why. I just I don't know. It's just a different story.
Yeah. But yeah,
Mhm.
just don't spoil your kids.
Yeah, I've been trying to like I think about everything. Like I try and think about everything. How it would be to have a kid. Like what I would want my kid to do, how I would raise them, and I'm glad I have this opportunity, to talk to someone that has a kid,
Yeah.
because it helps it educates me on other things that I'll never know until I have a kid.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and me especially to like be like living in different situations and
Mhm.
seeing how people raise their kids. Like I kind of got stuff of like, okay, like I see this is okay,
Yeah.
like how they're raising their kids, but then I'm like, okay, that's not okay. I wouldn't want to do that.
Mhm.
But yeah, just like even though like the situations I was at were
Mhm.
not the best, but they kind of helped in a way of like how I should raise my daughter. So
Yeah, that's good. And um, yeah, well, you're learning. This is all a learning experience for everybody.
yeah.
Um, and that's what I want. I want everybody to learn something from this. And is there anything you would want to like? What's the one thing that's been on your mind ever since you had your baby, or just something that's been driving you?
Mm, mm. Nothing really, just like I know that I made a lot of mistakes in my past, but
Mhm.
I feel like everything happens for a reason,
Yeah.
and I feel like everything that I went through was definitely for a reason, and it helped me grow as a person,
Mhm.
and I'm just thankful for that. And maybe if you're ever going through like a difficult situation, and you just feel like it's the end, and you feel like you're at your lowest, but it gets better. It just at that moment you don't see it,
Mhm.
and you just have to like tough it out, and eventually you'll look back at it and be
Mhm.
like, you know,
So what was your point when you finally realized like this is not what I want
um,
for my baby? Or
it honestly happened when like in my video I talked about it, but
Mhm.
it was when um me and like his girlfriend, I think they're still together.
Okay.
Him and his girlfriend messaged me, and like she like threatened to beat me up when I was pregnant, and he kind
Who
of,
does that?
yeah, and
Ooh, I heard that on the video. I was like, what?
yeah.
I was one mom gonna go threaten to beat up another mom, and then it was just
Yeah. Basically, she threatened to beat me
yeah.
up, and then she had also like, wished for me to have a miscarriage and for like my
That's
baby to like. She just wished the worst on me and like did all these things, and
yeah,
he defended her for it, which was like a shocker.
yeah,
Like, wow. Like,
and
I thought I knew you. I thought like
yeah.
I'm carrying your child. But that.
And you're gonna support
Yeah, but he
her like
didn't.
that.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
didn't care.
No one
So
should ever wish anything like that on anybody.
yeah, I would never like. Even though like I went through what I went through
Mhm.
with him and what I went through with her,
Yeah.
like I would never wish him the worst.
Mm-mm.
At
In the
all.
end, I feel like you learned so much.
Yeah.
You're stronger than me. I can tell you that for sure. Like shit, I don't know what I would do if I was in your situation.
Yeah. Well, thank you, but it just took a lot, just everything that I went through. But that was the point that I was like, okay, I need to get out. Like I can't deal with it.
Mhm. And it sucks to say, but no one realizes what situation they're in until you finally have that moment. Like you didn't
Mhm.
know. Like listening to your story, there was a lot of points where you could have turned, away, looked away, and just never looked back. But
Yeah.
just the situations we get into ourselves into, it's no one else's fault but our own. And like
Mhm.
once you realize like it was my fault, it was my fault why this happened. Then that's when you finally let go of everything,
Yeah.
and you finally you become a better person for it.
Definitely. And I honestly feel like if I wouldn't have had my daughter, if I wouldn't have gotten pregnant and I
Yeah.
was living with him, and all those things happened to me,
Mhm.
I feel like, yeah, I probably would have moved out and like did my own thing, but I feel like I would have like fell into like a deeper hole. Like I feel like I would have probably been like partying a lot or like drinking
Yeah.
and like doing all these bad choices, and I
Mhm.
feel like he would have eventually came back and like started talking to me, and I would have
Mhm.
gone back.
No, honestly, listen to your story. Like, listening to your story, uh, this was the best option.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, just like dropping him from your life and moving on
Mhm.
was the best option. And I'm like, you know, when you messaged me, like, when was it? I don't know. I had told you, was it Happy Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were like messaging a little bit before that because you have put on your story if anyone wanted to listen to your podcast,
that's
and I
right.
put yeah. And then like we just like continue
Yeah,
conversation like that.
No, but yeah, like, uh, I don't even know.
But
I'm
yeah,
a little
after
lost.
like the Mother's Day, that's when I was like telling you a
Mhm.
little bit of like my
Uh-huh.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, she was telling me all this about her situation and how it was going on, and I was like, I didn't know any of this. Like, you didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
You know, we're not the closest friends, and I understand.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people don't like talking about their issues, and that's what I kind of want this podcast, because I know there's all my friends, like the friends I have, they tell me things that, you know, they won't tell everybody else, but. You know, maybe like you wanted to come on here and you wanted to actually tell us about your story. You know,
Yeah.
give us the opportunity to listen to it. Not because, you know, you want attention, because you want someone to learn from your
Mhm.
experiences.
Yeah.
That's all I want. You know, someone to come on here and tell us about anxiety. That's what I'm planning on getting. Someone else like that's been through anxiety.
Yeah.
They've changed their life because of it.
Yeah. Just different
Yeah,
people with different
everyone goes through
situations.
different situations. I have my story is it's all right. You know, I feel like my story is not as important because your story this is huge. You know, like you had a child, a single parent, and it's crazy where you've come from that.
Yeah.
And we all we could do is just keep striving for better.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Definitely. Yeah.
And just know, like, it's you're not gonna find happiness in like things you buy. It's gonna be the people around you.
Mhm.
So if you support each other, you know, everybody's happier. Everybody's happier, you're happy.
Yeah.
Well, that's me, you know. That's me as a person. I want everybody around me to be happier.
Yeah. Yeah, especially just like when I was going through all that stuff, like I feel like I was just putting a face for
Yeah.
everybody, just like being happy on the
Mhm.
outside, but on the inside I was like
Because
so
you wanted it to
stressed.
be real, you know.
Yeah.
Like we put on this fake persona to be happy, but
Mhm.
like no one knows what you've been through.
Yeah.
And just talking about it, like you saying it out loud, it opens your mind and you're like, wow, you know, like I went through all this and I'm here now.
Yeah.
Like so there's a lot of hope, you know. No, never give up on anything that you believe in. This podcast is gonna keep going forever. Hopefully, if I'm gonna get better, you know.
Yeah.
Right now the edits are bad, but I'll get better eventually.
Yeah, it's just practice. That's all it is.
Mhm.
My YouTube channel is horrible if you
having a
look
baby
back.
having a baby is just practice, you know. Like
Yeah.
Your first child is just practice. Second one is it's gonna be a little easier, you know.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be easier.
Yeah.
If you do ever plan on having another child, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all a learning experience. If you never want to like take a risk in anything, you're never gonna learn anything.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, I did go through a lot, but I grew as a person, which I'm really thankful for. I feel like having my daughter saved me so
Yeah.
much and growing and being a better person.
That's good, honestly. Like it's better when everybody's happy, you know.
Yeah.
If we go through our days without knowing that somebody else is struggling, and how can you be happy like that, you know?
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm just like staring at Jeff. He's just chilling on the.
He fell asleep for a while.
He's annoying. I swear.
I love pets. I just can't have any because I have a tiny human already.
So you had to give up like having a pet because of your child, right?
Yeah, because she'll probably abuse him.
That's one thing that I want, is to have like a pet with the child, so they
Yeah.
can grow up together.
Yeah.
Because I've always seen that as like something that's cool, you know.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, but I could never, like, especially when you live in an
Eventually.
apartment,
Eventually,
like,
yeah.
you gotta pay to
Oh,
have a
that's right.
pet? What
Yeah.
the heck?
Yeah.
I understand
Pets,
because
pets
of
are
the
a lot of work
lease.
too, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel bad for pets because they get neglected.
Yeah.
You know, Jeffrey's lucky enough to be able to come inside.
Yeah. A lot of pets
Hmm.
go through a lot. Hmm.
Yeah. All right, I think we're just gonna call it there. Then I think this was
Yeah.
a good little session. You got your story out, and we basically talked about a lot of the difficulties of having a baby.
The birth.
Oh man, that's it.
Try not to have a C-section.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard natural birth is very dangerous as well. Like
Yeah.
it can tear. I don't know.
Yeah, you can tear, or they have.
They
There's
can.
a proper
Oh
word, but
man.
they have to like slice you if like
Oh.
the baby's too big.
And then like
And
I've
then
heard
they
in
have
some
to sew
situations
you.
they poop at the same time while
Yeah.
they're having the baby, and it's just
Because of all the pushing.
oh man, it's just it's a tough thing to go through.
Yeah, childbirth is not fun.
Yeah.
Giving birth is a toll.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think we're gonna call it there then. That was good, right?
Yep.
All right. You have anything else you want to add? Any other little final tips?
No, just if you guys are going through a difficult time, just know that it will get easier and better. And if you ever feel alone, you're not. There's a lot of people that have gone through same situations or something similar, but you just don't know it. So don't ever feel alone. There's definitely people that have gone through it. And
Don't be afraid to reach out to anybody.
yeah.
There's always someone that wants to help.
Yeah, and like, I have my YouTube channel. There's a lot of people you can contact. I've actually gotten some people that have like direct messaged me from Instagram, and like I've talked to them, and then they've told me their personal stories. So
And that's what I like. I like to hear personal stories. Because I feel like everybody should know each other's personal stories. If we all knew each other's personal stories, there wouldn't be judging.
yeah.
There would be so much less judging because they would understand your situation, what you're going through. And then that's what I want. That's what the podcast is for, I want everybody to see that and everyone's the same, basically. We're all struggling. We're all out here to better ourselves for the long run. But if no one talks about it, I believe in my head that that's how people commit suicide, because they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
If you keep it in your fucking Jeff, God damn it. if you keep it in your head, you think about it, and you keep thinking about it, it keeps bothering you.
Yeah.
You never let anybody know what you're going through, or like how to even. It could be something as simple as picking a color for your car or your first car, but everyone goes through it. If you have someone just help you pick it out, like that one color can just it helps.
Yeah.
Every situation, it's always good to get someone else's opinion on it, or just have someone else know that they know your story and that you're struggling. Yeah, and it's that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, and that's our advice.
Yeah, all right. I want to have other people on here eventually, just with whatever. If you have something you'd want to like say on the podcast, we can go in depth on whatever. Comment. I don't really have a lot of comments. The views,
Share.
The views are pretty good though. I mean, I think we've had like maybe 40 viewers. I mean, it's not a lot, but that's 40 people that have actually put the time, took out time from their day to actually listen to it.
Yeah.
And I like that, it makes me happy to see that people are actually like someone can relate to it.
Yeah. And I'll link your podcast in my YouTube channel.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Honestly, I don't. Like I said, I don't know how to do any of that yet. I can try. Like, how do you do that, anyways?
You just like copy the
link.
The link, and
okay,
then
I'll try and look into it.
And then just paste it.
Because I don't like when I'm uploading. I don't want to touch anything. Because then if it unuploads and then I don't know where it went, and then I'm just like, oh man.
It's cool. You could just put my YouTube name.
I'll put like your YouTube on there and your Instagram, just so that people can follow you and just stay along with your story. What do you do on your YouTube anyway? Like
just kind of like vlog. I haven't vlogged in a while, but I'm recently gonna upload more stuff. Just a lot of videos of my daughter growing up, kind of like at home videos, just stuff like
And
that.
is that more for you or for people who just?
It's kind of for both because I would like to, look back and seeing
Mhm.
like my pregnancy
Or
videos
show
and
your
like
daughter the videos in the
yeah, just like little things like that.
future.
So it's kind of for both because
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that like to see like family
Yeah.
channels.
Uh-huh.
So
That's good.
yeah.
If you're into that stuff, you can go find her channel. I'll put the name on there. You can subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, we're gonna call it there. All right, thank you for listening. Hopefully you learned something today. If you listen to the end, thank you. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some people that don't get past a certain point.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I don't like this. This isn't for me.
Yeah, definitely. But thanks for anyone that
Yeah.
stuck to the end.
Remember, we're trying to change our minds and your minds. We all need to change for the better. Everybody's struggling out there. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.